once again to monetize your mind right here on Namagood. I am your host, Adiola Doi, to take you on this transformational journey and learning your talents, and skills and ideas into sustainable impact, and income. Last week on episode 5, we leverage. We looked at why it was so important to build an online presence, how to use social media, digital marketing, and how to earn beyond borders through content, courses, products, and services. If you missed that session, don't worry. You can catch the replay on our YouTube page at Amogate. Now today we are stepping into a deeper conversation, building a visionary organization. Our quote for the day, as I always give, is an organization is only as great as the vision that drives it and the people who carry that vision forward. An organization is only as great as the vision that drives it and the people who carry that vision forward. So every big business you see today, whether it's Apple, the Dangote Group, or MTN, started with just one person's idea. But here is the truth. No matter how brilliant your idea is, if it remains only about you, it will remain small. Visionary organizations are built when individuals move from that solo effort to a team-driven structure. When a personal dream becomes a collective mission. So let's break this down into 3 critical dimensions. The first one is moving from solo effort to a team-driven structure. When you're starting out as an entrepreneur, it's normal to wear many hats. You design the product, you chase after the customers, you keep the books, you even sweep the floor if necessary, clean the tables, you're the accountant, you're the cleaner, you're the office assistant, you are the front desk officer and all that. Now this stage is critical because it teaches resilience, resourcefulness, and a deep understanding of your business. That's where you build those things, and it helps you to know a bit about every department, every unit that may come up later. But here's the truth. If you keep doing everything alone, you will eventually become the bottleneck. You will become the hindrance, the obstacle to the growth of that organization. Your growth will hit a ceiling because one person only has 24 hours, limited energy, limited skills. Therefore, to build a visionary organization, you must shift your mindset from I must do everything to I must build the right team to achieve more. I'll take that again. To build a visionary organization, you must shift your mindset from I must do everything to I must build the right team to achieve more. And here is how. Delegate tasks you are not the best at. There are tasks that you are not the best person that can do it. So many entrepreneurs will struggle with delegation because they feel nobody can do it as well as they can. That's not true. In the beginning, it may be true, but delegation isn't about perfection. It's about freeing yourself to focus on high value tasks. To free you to be able to focus on the things, the major things, the things that really matter in your business. If you are a great strategist but a poor accountant, get someone to handle the books. If you are good at coding but weak in customer service, bring in someone who loves people, who loves interacting with people. I met somebody yesterday who said she was just tired with working with papers and doing routine jobs. She wanted something that would connect her with people. You look for someone like that who will be very good with customer service. All the person needs is training. Delegation doesn't mean abandoning responsibility. It means assigning tasks while still providing direction and insight. So think of it this way. Every task you keep on your plate that someone else could handle actually delays your vision. It delays your vision. So the second thing you need to do is to build a core team that shares your vision. A team is not just about hiring hands. It's about aligning hearts. Your core team must be people who do not only make it happen. You need to hire people that align, whose purpose align with your vision. How do you do that? You will do that by having a very good recruitment and hiring system. I'll still talk about that as part of the three things you need to do in order to build a visionary team. So you need to look for people who are passionate about the mission, not just about the paycheck. Choose partners who complement your weaknesses. For example, now Steve Jobs was the visionary, while Steve Wozniak was the technical genius. Together, they built Apple. Invest in relationships with your team. People don't just follow a company, they follow a leader that they trust. They don't just follow anybody. They don't just become passionate about a company. They follow a leader that they can trust, a leader that they know, a leader who is also committed to them. So you need to invest in relationships with your team. You must know that you care about them. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Your goal is to create a team where everyone feels like a co-owner of the mission. Thirdly, you must empower others to make decisions. Empower others to make decisions. One of the biggest mistakes founders make is micromanagement. If every decision must pass through you, then your team is really not empowered. They're just assistants. They're just assistants. People want to be the only decision maker. If you are the only person that takes decision in your organization, the growth of that organization is limited. It's going to be really limited. Therefore, what I always suggest is that you create different levels of decision, different levels. Let people, where they can decide, and if it's beyond, let them, escalate to a higher level of leadership. Let that higher level of leadership also know, how much power, how much authority they have. And until they get to their limit, then let them know when to also escalate. So you must give authority at different levels. Empower people to be able to make decisions on different levels. So empowerment means trusting your team with authority, and you need to trust them that you have given them the authority and the in the areas of their strengths. Yes, it is also allowing room for mistakes, but helping them to learn quickly. When someone you delegated power to makes a mistake, don't crucify the person. Don't just, speak down on the person, make the person feel like he's committed a crime or he's made the worst mistake of his life. Yes, it may even be a costly mistake, but you gave that authority. So rather than crucify the person, correct the person, not even openly, take the person, take responsibility for that decision too. Stand by that person with that decision, but then you can take the person in later and then, teach them and let them know if this kind of decision comes up another time, this is how I would like you, I'd love you to deal with it. Create an environment where innovation is encouraged and ideas are valued. If you don't create such an environment, people will just keep quiet, they won't talk, and they may be taking, they may just be swallowing saliva on great ideas and inventions. They will never tell you. When people are empowered, they don't just work for you, they work with you. They bring solutions, not just problems. So here's the key mindset shift. Moving from solo effort to team-driven structure requires humility. You must admit you cannot do everything alone and must be willing to let others shine. Because remember this, leaders don't create followers, they create more leaders. And in the end, a true visionary organization is not measured by how much one person can do, how many leaders it can produce, and how long its vision can outlive its founder. So the second thing you can do when you're trying to create visionary is creating a company culture. Creating company culture, systems, and leadership pipelines. Every great organization thrives on these. Every great organization thrives on these. Every truly great organization stands on three invisible pillars: the culture, the systems, and the leadership pipeline. They are not just fancy words. They are the backbone that sustains long-term growth. What's the culture? The culture is the structure, is what people live by when nobody is watching. It's not just motivational posters on the wall. It's the unwritten rule and behaviors that define how your team works. Make decisions and ask yourself, do we value integrity over quick wins? Do we encourage innovation, punish risk takers? Are we focused on speed and efficiency, or care about thoroughness? For example, Google created a culture of innovation and openness by encouraging 20% time where employees work on side projects. Yes, that's the culture that birthed Gmail and Google Maps. In Nigeria, companies like Flutterwave thrive because they intentionally built cultures of collaboration and adaptability, a must for navigating global fintech. Don't forget, you don't have the ideas alone. A strong culture acts as your organization's DNA. Even if your systems and leaders change, culture ensures the identity remains intact. Culture ensures that the identity remains intact. When we come back from this break, we will talk about systems, and then we'll talk about the pipelines, and go into the third thing you need to do as a visionary, in order to be able to build a visionary organization, which is about hiring the right people. All this will come after the break.
Harmongate, founded in 2008 out of a desire to build transgenerational structures for organizations, institutions, and nations. We have worked with large businesses, international development organizations, and public sector ministries and agencies. Harmongate, our uniqueness is that we do not just work for you, we work with you. For example, we do not leave you to the task after sourcing talent that will help the new hire settle into robust leadership development programs. We are technical experts in advancing and supporting institutions on strategy and leadership, artificial intelligence, strategic human resource management, public sector reform, finance, audit and tax, FAT, and strategic communications. We do all this and more out of a desire to transform nations through institutions and organizations. For further inquiries, email contact at theharmongate.org or call +234 810 999 6666 +234 807 957 4151 and +161 0504 6026 www.theharmongate.org. Harmongate, building to endure and transforming nations through institutions and organizations.
Welcome back. You're still on Harmongate Radio Communications, Monetize Your Mind, and we've been talking about building a visionary organization. And I did say that there are 3 things that you need to do while building a visionary organization. We did talk about moving from a solo effort to a team-driven culture. We talked about delegating. Talks about building a core team and share your vision and empowering people to make decisions. Then the second thing we talked about, creating a company culture, systems and leadership pipelines. And we just talked about culture being the soul of the organization. And now we will go to systems, the engine of the organization. When culture gives you identity, systems give you stability. Culture gives you the identity, but it's the system that gives you stability. Systems are the repeatable processes that keep things running smoothly, even in your absence. Without systems, the founder becomes the answer to everything. Growth becomes chaotic. Burnout becomes inevitable. Examples of some of the systems, include your financial systems, where you have clear budgeting, expense tracking, accountability structures. You have operational systems like your SOPs, your standard operating procedures, for customer service, for logistics, impact, for everything, product delivery. You have operational systems. You have communication systems, the channels for team updates, project management, conflict resolution. You have a lot of systems in place. Think of McDonald's. When you walk into a branch in Lagos, in London, or in Los Angeles, the burger and fries taste the same. It's a recipe. That's not by chance. It is because of robust systems. It was created deliberately. There is a recipe. That recipe, when they want to, for example, if they are going to make 100 burgers, there is a recipe. The amount of flour, the amount of sugar, the amount of this, the amount of that is required, and it is mixed in this particular way, added with some particular flavors in some quantities and all that. So when all that come together and it is, baked for a certain number of minutes or so, and once, you have something that revolves around that repetitiveness, that's what you see when everything tastes the same, irrespective of where you got it. The goal of systems is consistency. Systems transform random success into predictable success. Systems transform random success into predictable success. Now let's talk about the leadership pipeline. Future of the organization. I did say that culture is the soul of the organization. Systems are the engine of the organization. Now, leadership pipeline is the future of the organization. If your organization is going to outlive you as a founder, then it depends on your leadership pipeline. Even the great culture and solid systems, no organization will last if everything depends on one person at the top. Even with great cultures and with those solid systems, everything, the systems are working perfect. But if that organization depends on one person at the top, it will not last. That's why you need a leadership pipeline, a deliberate strategy for growing new leaders. In the succession plan, how do you build your leaders? And one of the things I've found out as a business consultant, as a management consultant, is that the greatest organizations in the world have what we call homegrown succession plans. They grow their leaders from within. Yes, there are organizations that scout from leaders from outside, but the best is to grow that leader from within. That person who came in at an entry level and now today is at the top. It creates hope for everyone in the organization. It allows people to say, this is the organization where I want to spend 35 years, 40 years of my life when they come in, because they know that while they come in, they have the opportunity of retiring right at the top of that organization as the CEO. Yes. When you know, so that's why many people want to work with government. They want to work with those standard organizations. They want to work with Chevron, they want to work with Shell, Mobil. They want to work with the, government parastatals. Why? Because you know that you can rise from that entry level to becoming the head of that organization. It creates this opportunity, so you know that they have a plan for internal growth and the grooming of their new leaders. So this means that mentoring team members and giving them responsibilities early. It also means that you have to identify potential leaders and invest in their growth. In succession planning, there's a creative succession plan to division. You are creating a succession plan so the vision does not collapse when you step aside. So in succession planning, there's a way that talents are identified, talents are groomed, talents. So they are what we call a talent pool, where you can begin to pick people and groom them specifically for leadership because of what you've been able to identify in them. Look at Apple. After Steve Jobs, Tim Cook could step in because Apple had developed a leadership pipeline. The vision continued even though the founder was no longer there. Closer home, many African family businesses collapsed because leadership wasn't transferred or developed. The founder carried everything alone. And when he or she was gone, the business died. Sometimes they just bring in their children and they just bring them into the top. No grooming. But there are businesses that bring in their children, but who do not bring them in at the top. They bring them in somewhere down the line, and they allow them to go through different organizations, different departments, different units, different divisions, and they begin to rise along. It is deliberate grooming, and at the end they can take over that business when the father goes. A true visionary organization doesn't centralize leadership, it multiplies it. So what are the takeaways from this? Number one, culture defines who you are. Systems define how you operate. Leadership pipelines define how long you will last. If you want your organization to thrive, and to thrive beyond you, these three must be intentional, not accidental. The strength of a nation lies in its people. The strength of an organization lies in its culture. And the strength of its future lies in the leaders it produces. The third thing you must do, if you must build a visionary organization, is what I spoke a little bit earlier about hiring the right people. People, processes, and purpose. Hiring is one of the most critical decisions a founder or leader will ever make. A visionary organization cannot be built on weak foundation, and your people are that foundation. The quality of your team will determine the height of your growth. So, hire for character first, competence second. Many businesses make the mistake of hiring purely for skill, while competence is important. Character is what sustains trust, integrity, and culture. Why should you hire for character first? A skilled person without integrity can destroy your business from within. Competence can be taught through training, but character is far harder to change. It is difficult to change character. For example, in customer-facing roles, you would rather hire someone with empathy, patience, and honesty than someone with only technical knowledge but a poor attitude. Always ask yourself, can I trust this person with the vision of this organization? If the answer is no, don't hire, even if they are brilliant on paper. No matter how brilliantly or intelligently they speak, if you cannot trust them with the vision of the organization, don't hire them. Secondly, build strong processes for recruitment, onboarding, and training. Great organizations don't leave hiring to chance. They don't. They've never. They create systems for people development, just like they do for finance and operations. Many banks have training schools. When they hire you, they don't take you to the organization. They don't bring you in. They take you to their training schools, where you spend some months to understand their culture, to be able to see, to learn their systems, and become aligned to their purpose. So, like I said, they create systems for people development, just like they do for finance and operations. And this includes recruitment process. They have clear job descriptions, defined interview stages, reference checks, and value-based assessments. They have an onboarding process that helps new hires understand the culture, systems, and expectations of the organization. That's what I talk about their schools, their training school. They have training and development, regular upskills, so that people grow as the company grows. Let's talk about the Dangote Group or GT Bank. They have structured graduate training programs that ensure everyone entering the system is aligned with the company's culture and way of doing things. Process remove guesswork from hiring. They ensure consistency in who joins and how they are integrated into the vision. Thirdly, connect every hire to the purpose of the company. One of the biggest shifts in today's workforce is that people don't just want jobs. They want meaning. They want to be part of something bigger than themselves. So if you are in real estate, the purpose is not just building homes, houses. It's not just building houses, it's creating homes and opportunities for generational wealth. If you are in fintech, the purpose is not just processing payments, it's empowering businesses and individuals to thrive financially. If you are in media, the purpose is not just broadcasting content, it's influencing culture and inspiring transformation. When people see how their daily tasks connect to a larger vision, they bring energy, they bring loyalty, they bring creativity to the work. That's how you build not just a workforce, but a mission-driven movement. Purpose turns every employee into ambassadors. Purpose turns employees into ambassadors. So our takeaway from this is that hiring right is not about filling vacancies. It's about planting seeds of the future. Hire for character, because the vision demands trust. Build processes, because growth demands structure. Anchor hires in purpose, because people crave meaning. Great vision without great people is irrelevant. When you hire right, you're not just adding employees, you are building partners in your vision. Young people, I need you to listen carefully. Don't keep your vision to yourself. The next phase of your growth is not just about having a good idea, but about building an organization that can carry that idea forward, learn to collaborate, build culture, create systems, and surround yourself with the right people. Dreams are achieved by individuals, but destinies are fulfilled by teams. So I challenge you today, start thinking beyond yourself. Ask what systems do. What systems, what they do. What are the systems I need to put in place? What do I need to bring on board? How can I ensure my vision outlives me? As we close today's session, remember this. Organizations that stand the test of time are not built overnight. They are carefully structured around vision, values, systems, and people. They are not built around announcements. They are not built around show off. Stop showing off. Keep quiet. Build quietly. Build diligently. Your success will speak when the time comes. Whether you are running a small business or a not-for-profit or a startup, don't just build for today, build for the future. Build something that generation will thank you for. Thank you very much, and I would like to take your feedback. So please send us an email at contact@yamogate.org, or you can chat us up on our WhatsApp line +234 810 999 6666, or you can follow us on all our social media platforms. We're on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, all at Amogate. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and to listen to previous episodes and get notified about new ones. At Amogate Communications, we have a lot of services we render, not just the radio broadcasts. We have a team of seasoned management consultants who can help you take your organization from zero to where you need to be. If you need a team to work with you, hold your hands, and take you, to help you build a visionary organization, you need Amogate Consulting. Because an Amogate with seasoned professionals with more than 2 decades of experience, and Amogate itself being an organization that has been around for about 2 decades also, you are sure that you are in good hands. And then Amogate can help you transform that organization into a generational vision. So we're here every Thursday, 5 p.m. West African time, 12 noon Eastern time, with another powerful session. We'll be here with next week Thursday. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Thank you for listening. And until next time, I am Adiola Gbadebo, telling you to keep building, keep growing, and keep accelerating. See you next time.